Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to discuss about Git and GitHub. So let's start the journey of the DevOps. So it's very important to understand what's the GitHub and Git is going to do. What is a GitHub? What is a Git? This is a version control system which manages your code. So someone who is managing a code, you need some tool, and that tool is considered as a GitHub to maintain the versioning of the project. When you have a multiple developers in your project, they are doing a multiple work from their local machine. They get the project from the GitHub, which is a web-based. Okay, so they pull the code local to their machine from GitHub. So this is something called GitHub. GitHub means web-based remote machine. They pull the code to Git on your local machine. So when you consider this software on your web-based, this considered as a GitHub. And when you call this software on your local machine, you have to be considered as a Git. So you're gonna clone the code from, sorry, there's a typo mistake here, seems to be. GitHub typo mistake, just ignore it, not a problem. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to follow these steps. Okay, I'm going to create a virtual machine on Azure portal. Second step is I'm going to install a Git on your Azure virtual machine, and then I'm going to clone the repository from the remote GitHub, establish connectivity from Git to GitHub by using SSH key, and the new file which I'm going to create and modify the existing file. So by this, you can see what is Untrack, what is modifies, all these things you will understand. Okay, then we can add, commit, push. Okay, all the basic things we can do. Let's jump on to the quick lab. Let me repeat whatever I have updated to you. GitHub is something which you are going to manage the code on a web page. Git is something which you are working on your local machine. Okay. So meanwhile, let me log into the GitHub. Okay. So I'm already logged in here. So let it be. So this is my local GitHub account, which I have with my name. So I'm just going to create a new repository over here. GitHub demo for YouTube students. GitHub demo for YouTube students. So I just want to keep it a public repository. I don't want a private. So I just want to add the README file here. So just when I'm going to clone the repository to my local machine, I want some file in that. Okay. So my repository is ready. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to type something here by just editing here. I just want to show you. Author, Akbar Ali. When I'm doing any changes in the GitHub, when I'm doing any commit, what will happen? Let's see. So you just ask, you're going to update the README file. So commit directly to your main branch, main or master, you can say. See, Now I got a changes. So it is very easy in a GitHub when it's a web based. So you do a changes directly just by clicking on edit. Okay. So let me go to this repo again. So this is what we have done in our local. Let me create a virtual machine in Azure and install the Git on it, and we'll clone this repository step by step. So I'm going to create a virtual machine on the Azure portal. So sorry, this is a resource group. Let me go to virtual machine, create VM. GitHub resource group, GitHub VM. It is intimating me the cost of a virtual machine. We'll select which is available for free. That could be better for the. I don't want to go for something which is costing me here. Let me see which is available for free. Yeah, I will go with this free services. So whenever you are doing a practice, you have to go with the free service actually. Okay, that could be the best option. So let it be the one-to-one. So rather than using SSH public key, I'm going to use the password. I have a little bit of typo problem here in my keyboard. I have to copy Z. I'm giving as Azure admin and the password. So my ultimate agenda is, as a first step, I'm going to create a virtual machine. That is what I'm going to do here. It means I'm creating my server just to install a Git on it. So I've enabled the ports. Which is a very basic thing. Very soon, when you create your own virtual machine with your personal trial account, free trial account, you'll able to understand. So just remember the things, whatever I have discussed here in the beginning. Create a virtual machine on Azure portal. This is what the first step I'm going to do. And after that, I'm going to install a Git on it. So this is the charges. So I'm just going to click on create. So once my virtual machine is ready, what I'm going to do, I'll take the IP address, I'll open the putty, and then I'll log in with the credentials, whatever I have created here, like Azure admin. So my deployment is in progress. So basically, overall, what we are doing here, we are getting the repositories from the GitHub to our local machine, and we are doing the changes in our installed software, which is a Git, and then pushing the code from our local repository to GitHub. That is what we are actually doing. Okay, this is what our overall concept here. Git and GitHub is a very useful tool as a part of a beginning for your DevOps journey. Nowhere I'm explaining or wasting time on the theory. I'm just doing a lab, so please be focused. So I just copy the public IP address. I'm just giving here, and I'm going to log in with my credentials, whatever I have created. Okay. Is not copied again. So as a part of installation of Git, what I need to do is I have to go to so I have gone to this website. Okay. So here we have some set of steps how to install a Git. You need to go to this website. Okay. So what I'm going to do first, sudo apt update. Why we are giving this? Use apt package which help you to manage the tools, update your local package. So this is our first step. Sudo apt update. So it will make sure the system is ready, just up to date to proceed further with the installation of Git. Okay, so let's proceed with the next step, which is the actual step for installation of Git. With the update complete, you can install Git. Once my update is completed, I'm going to install the Git. See here, my Git is ready. Once my Git is ready, how can I check? So Git 2.5.1 version is ready. So my Git is ready. Now what can I do now? So I can clone the repository, correct? So which is the one I have created here? This is the one. So I'll go to GitHub and I'll come back here. Git clone is the command to clone your repository. So I've given my repository what I've created in a GitHub. So what we are doing, when I say GitHub, it is a remote. When I'm doing something on my server, which is a local, which means I'm doing something on my Git. So let's check either the folder has been created, whatever the folder that I have created here, GitHub demo for YT students, it means the YouTube students. So it came here. Okay. If you see here, all the stuff has been came here. So if I go to the respective folder, then I can see ls-altr. I can see .git folder. Okay. Now the next step is I have cloned the repository from GitHub to Git. Now what is my next step? I have to establish the connectivity, right? Let me open the Unity. Clone the repository, establish the connectivity from Git to GitHub. Okay. So what you need to do, you need to establish your connectivity from your local machine, which is a virtual machine, to this GitHub. Now what do I do? So I'll expand this. SSH-pg. I'm going to generate the key. Now I'll go to this respective home Azure admin.ssh directory. ID_SSH hub. Now this is the key which I have to add in my GitHub, which will help me to establish. I go to settings. In the settings, I'll come to SSH and GPG keys. So existing key I will delete because I've done it previously. So I'm deleting this key. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new SSH key. Now this SSH key, whatever I have created on my virtual machine, I'm adding this particular SSH key to my GitHub, which will help to establish a connectivity from my local Azure virtual machine to my GitHub. I can mention as Git key. And a name you can give anything just for a reference. Yeah. So the key is added here. Okay. Now let's what is our next step? Now our key is added. Now we have the respective directory. Now I'll go back. Now let's see. Okay. Now I'll go back to this folder from where I have cloned the repository. See, I have only readme.md file, correct? Readme.md file. I'll go back to the repos. See, you remember, right? I have only one file which is readme.md. So if I'm going to add anything, any changes to this file, existing file, and if I add a new file, so the concept of modify and state will come. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, vi readme.md. So author is there, author and number. So what I'm going to do, learning DevOps. So I've added something in the README file which will show me that modified state. Okay. Now I'm going to create a new file. I'll say push from local to remote .sh. Learning DevOps pushing PUSH pushing code from local to remote. See, what is the content in the file and all, which you no need to bother at all. So one thing, I have a readme.md file. So which is I have cloned it from my GitHub. I have created a new file. So let's see what are the branches I have here. I have main only. So I'll create couple of branches here. Git checkout -b feature future one. Git checkout -b feature 2. So git branch. So I have now 3 branches. So whatever I have in my GitHub, that is different now because I have modified my README and I've added a new file. So in my local, I have all the 3 branches all together, different stuff. And I have 3 branches over here, main branch, future 1, future 2. So if I want to check the Git status, see, modified. This is one state. Modified means the file what you have cloned from your GitHub and you did some changes. So where Git is able to identify. An untracked file means which Git is not able to identify because this is something which you have created on your local. Until unless you commit these changes, your modified and untracked changes will not going to be committed until unless you give git add, commit, and push. Now we have seen it, right? So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to git add. I'm going to confirm the changes. Dot means all the files under this specific directory. Git commit -am messages modify and untrack changes commit. Message you can put anything, okay? Git add commit. And then you can give git push. If you don't know what to do further, like set upstream, origin, where it has to merge, you don't need to worry on all. If you give git push and enter, it will give you the next step. See here. So whatever the changes we have done here, we are going to push it to our remote. When I say origin, origin means to the GitHub. Okay, it's not allowing me. So SSH region. I'll give yes. Let me add this again. Because this is very important, then only our authentication from Git to GitHub will happen. So something is wrong here. I'm just checking. I'm opening the file. I'm going to settings. Normally, it shouldn't ask the credentials when this is everything is set correctly. Okay, I got it. So we are in so there's a small configuration changes that I have to do. I missed it. So when you done everything, okay, we have something here called your config file, okay. In your config file, if you look at this under .git, so this URL you have to change. So remember guys, this is very important actually. When you go to code, this SSH, this particular URL you have to give it to here. So I'm going to change this. Okay. Now, let me just cross check this one. Okay. Now this is the SSH URL. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to the respective folder now. I'm going to check the branch. So git status. Let me add one more file here. Push to remote. Learning DevOps for learning GitHub for DevOps. Okay. So let me do git add, git commits, added new file which is untrack, git push, then we can get a complete syntax. Last time when we have given this command, it had showed me the to enter the credentials. When I give the credentials, it's wrong. Actually, under the .git folder, there's a config file where we have to give the URL of SSH. That's part we missed it. Okay, so it's done. See, do GitHub branch setup to remote. Remote means from our local Azure virtual machine, it has gone to the GitHub. Now, if I go here, see here, you can see this, right? Future 2 has pushes 3 seconds ago. Okay. Now, what do I need to do? Normally, I was basically it was having only a main branch. Now you can see there's a multiple branches over here. Correct, which is a feature 2. After doing the git commit push. Okay. Now I will go to this branch. I'll create a compare and pull. Now what is happening here? Merging from future 2 to which branch? To main branch, correct? So you have to, in a real time, you have to type the message exactly from which branch to which branch it is going and what is the changes in the code. If you want to see the changes in the code, you have to come down. It will, you can see here. See, initially I added here learning DevOps. This is the first thing I have added in my local machine. And then in my local machine, I have added push to remote.sh, push from local to remote.sh, this particular file, and I've added this content in this file, and I've added this too. Wherever you can see plus symbol, it is add. So all these changes I have done in my local from GitHub. I've got a clone this readme.md, and in my local I have created these 2 files and I've added the content. Wherever you see plus symbol, you have added new entries. So if you see minus in future, you have removed. So that's how the meaning is. Okay. So you can say here added couple of files and modified existing read me file and then create pull request. So someone who is about to approve this request, he can mainly observe the changes. Okay. Okay, something has been going on here. Some changes has been happened. Merge pull request. Confirm merge. So it means whatever you have done it in your future branch, okay, everything is gonna go to main branch. Now, if you come here to main branch, just refresh it. See, now we can see everything. So we got from our local Azure virtual machine to our web-based GitHub into the main branch. Everything. Feature 2. Now, let me go back here to show you something. Git branch. So I have a feature 2 and I have moved the changes from feature 2 to main. Okay. So now imagine there is a requirement that I don't want a feature 1 branch. I have decided to delete that particular branch. I've told you here we can delete the branch. How to delete the branch or how to rename the branch. Git delete. If you want to merge, you can see here merge. You want to pull, push, fetch. So there will be a something for deleting. Okay, git branch hyphen d feature here. Git branch, git branch hyphen d. So I am currently in feature 2 branch. Okay. If I have deleted, if I decided to delete feature 1, okay, then I have to delete it from feature 2. Now I can give from feature 1. Okay, I've deleted the branch. If I want to rename the branch, git branch, git checkout main, git branch. So I'm in main branch. If I have to rename, git checkout FEATUR feature 2. Again git branch. Okay. So I have decided to rename my branch. Git branch name feature 3. If you see git branch, see earlier it was feature 2, now it is named as feature 3. We have deleted the branch, we have renamed the branch. So if I want to see what are the changes I have done in my past, so I can give git log to see this. For example, if I want to go ahead one change ahead, undo, git reset head, git status. See here, this is the last change what I did. So again, I have to do git add, git commit, git push. So because I have renamed the branch, I have to use, but in my GitHub, it is having this branch. Now I have to use git pull because my content in the GitHub is one step ahead. So it is asking me to use GitHub. Control X for exit. Now this is how you have to do that. Okay. So again, git log. I have given head till 1, which means previous branch. So if you want to go to specific commit, git reset hard. Git reset hard and that ID. So it is now at empty git status. So that's all, guys. You need to play around. So overall concept is you have your web-based, which is considered as a GitHub. This one is your GitHub. This one, when you install a Git on your local virtual machine, that will be considered as your Git. You have to clone from GitHub to Git, and you do the changes over here, and from here you have to push. So you rename the branch, you delete the branch, you explore the things whatever you want to do. So basically you have whatever the steps that I have done, this is enough for the starting point of a journey. You have to create a virtual machine, you have install, you clone the repository, establish connectivity from Git to GitHub, add a new file, modify the file, check the Git status, do add, commit, and push. This is something which is very important. And then you rename the branch, and then you delete a branch, and you do git logging. How do you check the log? Once you see the log, git reset head -1 fc-l. If you want to see the previous commands, whatever I have given it here, see here. This is all the overall conceptual knowledge for the beginning of the GitHub journey with respect to DevOps. Thank you very much, guys. Please click on like and subscribe my channel if you feel the content is very useful. Thank you very much. Thanks for your time. Thanks for watching. Happy learning.